Hi everybody, it's John here. So I am going to start vlogging about my experiences of this new journey. Just last week I was told by my doctor that I am not pre-diabetic, I am full-on for life diabetic, and my cholesterol is through the roof, my triglycerides are through the roof, so I have to start really changing. In the past, I had made slight changes. I quit drinking pop as of May 2011. And I thought that, okay, my sugars might be a little high from the different things and the carbs, but not as high as I thought it was. A healthy range is about 4 to 7. I'm 17. For fat content, 4 to 6 is about right, and triglycerides, they need to be less than 2.3. My triglycerides were 14, and my cholesterol, if it's over 5.7, it's at risk for coronary artery disease. I was 6.9. So yeah, big shock for me. And considering I'm not even 30 yet, I'm only 28. It's like, wow, big wake-up call. So over the past week, I started making changes in what I do. I'm now on 2 medications. The atorvastatin, which is for, it's like a generic name for Lipitor, which is for the high cholesterol, and another one which is called metformin, which is for people with diabetes. Now there's 2 types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetics require insulin because the body does not produce enough insulin to equal the number of sugars. Type 2 diabetes are most likely not requiring insulin. They are more the fact that there's insulin there, but it's just so messed up it doesn't really know what to do. So by leveling out the blood sugars to proper levels, the insulin knows what it's supposed to do and can go where it's supposed to go. So basically, yeah, I'm a type 2 diabetic. It basically means that it's diet and exercise. I have to check my blood sugars 3 times a day, first thing when I get up in the morning, 5 to 10 minutes before dinner, and 2 hours after I stop eating dinner and dessert. Now what I tend to do is I'll have my dinner, I'll wait 2 hours, do the blood sugar test, and then have dessert. That way because I find that if I have dinner and dessert together at once, and then wait the 2 hours, the sugars tend to be a lot higher. But I find that if I space it out a bit more, it allows it not to be all at once, and it gives me a bit of a consistency. Because one thing I've noticed is they tell you to get stuff that's no sugar added or sugar-free. But the fact is, just because it's sugar-free doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Because what you got to realize, and this is something I learned this week, this is my tip number 1 that I'm going to give you, is that when you read nutrition labels, they can be so misleading on so many levels. And one thing I've learned is, okay, I got to look at the sugar content and the cholesterol. Now, just because it says 0 milligrams of cholesterol doesn't mean there's no fat in there. It just means there's no cholesterol. But the fact is, your cholesterol levels and your triglycerides are generally not just about cholesterol, they're about fat in general. So you can have saturated and trans fats and still have no cholesterol. And when you look at, so what you have to do is, you not only have to look at the cholesterol content, you need to look at the fat content. Okay? Because, obviously, cheese will have cholesterol in it, but there's still a high fat content as well. And the one thing, especially for diabetics, your body takes all this stuff and converts it into sugar. Starches, carbohydrates, and basic sugars. Now, just because it has maltitol, Splenda, xylitol, aspartame, acesulfame, potassium, any of these so-called fake sugars or sugar-free stuff, doesn't mean that there isn't carbs in there. Because if you look at a label and you say, okay, I'm supposed to look at the sugar content, 0 sugars, sweetened with sucralose. You think, okay, that's sugar-free. It shouldn't affect my blood sugars. But then you look at the carbohydrates, and it says 12 grams of carbohydrates. 12 grams of carbohydrates, 9% of your daily value. Well, there you go. There is still 12 grams of carbohydrates. Even though it's sugar-free, that 12 grams of carbohydrates that may not be sugar will go into your system and convert into sugar and go into your bloodstream. So you have to be careful about how they word it. Okay, and don't just look at that. Look at the fiber content, because fiber is also under the category. Now, fiber is great in the way that it's good for lowering cholesterol, so that's perfect for me. And the great thing about it is when stuff like that is fiber-based, like oatmeal, converts into sugar, it does take longer to go into the bloodstream, and it doesn't go all at once. It's a slower release, which is great. For diabetics, that's things you want. Is you want products that's going to provide you with a longer, full meal that'll go of a longer time. Now, a lot of companies are making stuff that's lightly sweetened or less sugared, and that's great stuff to look for. I use Quaker oatmeal that's lightly sweetened, the apples and cinnamon brand. You get the 10 patches. I do 2 for my breakfast. Sorry. And I pair that with a small yogurt cup. You know, when you buy the 8 or the 16 packs, I get those. And I have 1 of those, and I have my 2 oatmeal with skim milk in it. You know, if I need a little bit more sugar, I could put Splenda, but it has enough in there for me. I don't care if it's bland. I love oatmeal, so I'll eat it no matter what. So I like it that way, and that's the way it is, and it's great. And the fact is, the yogurt will go in and disperse right away, but the oatmeal goes slower over time, and it keeps me fuller till lunch, so I'm good to go. And I really like that. But just be careful when you are reading nutrition labels, especially people that have high fat content that they need to watch for, or sugars or sodium. Is be careful and know what you're reading. You know, one thing I've learned, this is tip number 2, is not just look at carbohydrate, is that when you are diabetic, look at the carbohydrate number as a whole. Some people say look for the sugars. No, but look for the carbohydrate number as a whole. If it's telling you that it's 50% of your daily value for carbohydrates in 1 serving, you shouldn't be eating it, because all that 50% is going to convert into sugar. Not just the sugars, the other part of the carbs too. Like bread is a huge problem. Potatoes, rice, starches, cupcakes, stuff like that is basically going to convert into pure sugar. That's the way it is. So yeah, you have to watch out for that. What's the 3rd tip I was going to say? It was something else about that. So yeah, be careful when you're doing that. And, you know, and remember, it is ultimately about having a balanced meal. I know myself, I kind of feel right now, since I haven't had any real guidance as to what I can and cannot eat, I go into a grocery store and I feel like I'm in torture, like I can't eat anything. But one thing that you will find out is that you can eat things. You just have to watch how much of it you eat. Like, instead of going down and sitting and eating 3 family-sized portions of pasta, you can have 1 serving of pasta and still feel like you're including yourself. I know that right away I don't want to jump in too much, because I want to test the waters and see where I'm going and do what I'm doing, and that's great. You know, and over time it's going to work. I've also signed up for a program with a place called Spectrum Nutrition in Vancouver. It's a program basically because I need something that's diabetic friendly and low cholesterol friendly. I am going to do their 6-month weight loss program. It's called 180 Days with a registered dietitian. The first 2 months, it's 1 session per week. After that, the remaining 1 session every 2 weeks for half an hour, just to kind of rev it up and see where you're doing and keep me on track. And I like having that. being able to know that I can be on track and I can have somebody to support me and to make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing is awesome. Right now, I'm about 240 pounds, I'd say. I'll go weigh myself later and figure it out. My ultimate goal, get under 200. I'd love to be in Wonderland by the end of this program. That'd be awesome. You know, and to be able to help me to manage my blood sugars and everything, it's going to be great because I do want to live longer and I am excited. And on top of that, next Monday is the start of a Zumba program that I'm going to be doing. I love Zumba. It's so awesome and I can't wait. It's every Monday night for an hour and 15 minutes at the local rec center up on my house. So I'm excited to do that program and sign up for that this week. And on top of that, I'll find other ways to get more exercise into my system. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited. So we'll see how this goes. This is just my first vlog entry. Hopefully there will be more to come. More tips. I will try to let you know as much of the tips as I can and keep you updated on my progress and how I'm doing. So thank you for supporting me in my health and wellness journey, and all the best to you in your health and wellness journey. And let's stay in touch. Take care. Bye.